Straight out of the gates with some injury news for the Eagles. Cornerback Avonte Maddox suffered a torn pectoral muscle in Thursday's win over the Vikings. He's likely out for the rest of the season. Maddox was injured in the first quarter against Minnesota and forced a fumble in the game, but his season is most likely over. Last year, he was limited to just 9 games due to injury. Meanwhile, the Eagles are making a switch at punter. Aaron Sipos was released today from the practice squad, and former Steelers and Jets punter Braden Mann was signed to take his place. Sipos was 22nd in net average on punts. Not good. Mann was a 6th-round pick by the Jets in 2020 after a standout career at Texas.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Howie. Thank you.
Barrett is thankful. Welcome into Bird's Huddle, powered by PointsBet, a Fanatics experience, along with the man Barrett Brooks, the Super Bowl champ. I'm Danny Palmels. How about the Eagles, Barrett? They're 2-0, but changes are a-coming, sir.
Yes, of course changes are coming. You mean, it was great for us last year because injury, we got bit by the injury bug, but it was kind of, you know, throughout the
course of the
year.
Season,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, one guy here, one guy there. But doggone, man, can we get a break? I mean, it's like, you know, it's coming in groups right now. We need to slow down a little bit. You know, we did all this not playing in camp and, you know, not playing in the preseason, and we came out of it pretty daggone healthy. But daggone, right now, we're not healthy at all. We got to see what's going on, man. It's not making sense right now.
All right, as far as Maddox goes, Nick Sirianni spoke about his loss today, and it's the Bird's Eye View presented by Ocean Casino and Resort in Atlantic City.
He's a great football player who's made a lot of plays here. You know, I thought he was playing really good football, really being aggressive, caused that fumble, and then made some really good plays on the perimeter. And so we'll miss his contributions both as a teammate and then on the field. But we like some of our options, and this is the benefit of, you know, Howie and his staff building depth. And so, you know, and that's our job as coaches, to make sure we have options with the depth that we have. And so we feel comfortable with that, but no doubt we'll miss Avonte while he's gone.
My boy Nick always dipped in some Philly sports gear. That brings us to Barrett's 3-point
Lane's
stance.
hat on, Phillies, you know, I mean.
Always got something on. Barrett's first stance, the Eagles' injuries are becoming an issue. Not only is Avonte Maddox possibly out for the season, but they're already down to Kobe Dean at linebacker, who's on the IR. They were without Reed Blankenship and James Bradbury last week against the Vikings.
Yeah, you know, and hopefully James Bradbury comes back and is off concussion protocol for this year. He's got 11 days, well, less than 11 days now, that he can, you know, come back from. But Avonte Maddox, that's definitely pivotal, man. That's a major starter in our defense. You know, the Kobe Dean on IR, he's got about 2 more weeks that he has to wait before he can come back, if he come back. Like you just said, James Bradbury concussion. Reed Blankenship ribs, hopefully he's back because we need him. Kenneth Gainwell, we also need him. You know, we need some steadiness at the running back position, even though we had 175 yards by one back. And, you know, it's still one of those things where we need to make sure that we get the proper depth, you know, to get the proper rotation.
What about the idea that they could bolster that secondary by bringing somebody back who was with them in training camp, Greedy Williams? I mean, the guy who probably knows the system and could fill some of the voids that...
You know, that's great that you brought that up because, I mean, he's a guy that can come in, you're right, and playing that slot position, has some experience. He was the Browns' first pick, even though it was the 2nd round, the year he got drafted. Has a lot of experience that he can come out there and play in the slot position, you know, and I would think he would be pretty good at the slot position if they feel as though they had to. There's guys they can go to. Josh Jobe, I think they're going to keep him on the outside. He's a young guy, but they like him on the outside. I think Eli Ricks is a guy they can put in the slot position. Maybe James Bradbury, he's participated in there during camp and played at the slot position. Usually you want a guy that has quicker type of feet, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of a long player that plays very, very physical. That's why they put him on the short side. But at the end of the day, we can't, you know, see what they're going to do. They're not going to give us any clue of what they're going to do.
Right.
I was thinking maybe they put Sidney Brown out there. Maybe that's a possibility. You know, he's athletic enough. He can run.
Quick enough?
I think he's quick enough also, you know. I mean, so he kind of plays that hybrid guy that he could play in the slot and play the safety position anyways. This is something, you know, this for the first time, I'm kind of worried about the position because, I mean, I tell you what, to not have, you know, a solid guy at the slot cornerback position is going to be tough, man, you know, and you need that guy to be there. All these teams run 11 personnel. Mario Goodrich, he's been the guy thus far, but can he hold up for the entirety of the season? We'll see.
Because some good run here against the Vikings. Let's see how the Eagles handle that position. But let's move to Barrett's second stance. Don't worry about Jalen Hurts, Barrett says. Reuben Frank, he wrote a great piece today about why concerns over the QB are overblown through 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Nick Sirianni was asked today about the passing offense and its perceived struggles so far.
We're not in a panic mode or anything like that. I think just, have the pass numbers been down? Yeah. Does the defense play into that? Of course it does. And fortunately for us, and not everybody has this luxury, but fortunately for us, we're able to win on the ground and we're able to win in the air. We're talking about a 2-game sample size. So, we're just going to keep doing what we need to do to put the guys in position to succeed. And that's our job as coaches, and we know for sure that we got the right guys in this building to go out and execute when the defense, against the defenses that we see.
Z said it best, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't, Barrett, and they don't jump off the page. But Hurts is completing over 70% of his passes, and hey, they're 2-0, undefeated. So what's the worry?
Well, there's no worry out of me. He'll be just fine. He's going to shake the cobwebs off. In fact, you saw a little less cobwebs you saw from the first game going into the second game. When you have an offensive line like that can block the run like that, of course those numbers are going to be skewed a little bit in the second game. The first game was definitely that. He had to shake the cobwebs off. He had a little bit of rust. He hadn't been hit since February. But then you look at the second game. He had a little more of a, opening up of the offense. They tried to force the ball at first. They pushed the ball down the field. Smith had a big play, and he had over 120 yards. So Smith, you saying that he didn't having a good passing game, well, it looked pretty good to me. We ran the ball so consistently that, why would it do it? The defense dictated that we run the ball. They had 2 high safeties. That's when you run the ball. When you start getting what you had last week or the first week, and that's where they blitzed them a lot, single high safety, it's harder to throw the ball then because you have more guys in the box. So they're blitzing more, and they're trying to make sure they take you off your place where you're throwing the ball from. I believe that, as this, going to this next week, we'll be just fine. That offensive line, it's a lot of their fault also because they haven't been playing well also. So, it's imperative that everything gets in sync together before they can start having the great breakout games we saw before of 300 yards or more.
Finally, the Cowboys are good, folks, but the Eagles are better. Dallas also 2-0 after another impressive performance on Sunday as they beat the Jets. They've outscored the 2 New York teams 70-10 so far this year. But what do you think about how the Cowboys have played in relation to what the Eagles have done?
Their defense is amazing. The defense is amazing. You got Michael Parsons out there rushing the passer. He's almost unblockable. This kid can play this game. And then they went out and got one great cornerback, in Stephon Gilmore. It kind of solidified things from a pass coverage standpoint because now you have 2 #1 cornerbacks on the outside, kind of like what we have with the Eagles. They saw the pattern we did and how we were able to play and sustain, really good offenses with those 2 cornerbacks. DeMarcus Lawrence is playing at a high level. This defense is the reason why they're 2-0. Offensively, they really didn't blow me out the water. Yes, they played well against the Jets defense, but I don't think that they're overpowering, high-powered defense. Dak is good, but I don't think he's as good as, their record is portraying right now.
Yeah.
The defense is carrying this team. That's what's going on, the defense.
All right, defense is good, offense, All right, we got much more Birds Huddle coming up with Brad Brooks. Here's the playbook. John Clark joins us in the Birds Lounge on the Eagles through 2 weeks. Plus, we take a look at the schedule and try to find the first loss for the Eagles. And we've updated the Super Bowl odds. See who has leaped the Eagles. That and much more. Danny Palmel's and Barrett Brooks coming back on Birds Huddle.
Birds Huddle is powered by PointsBet, now a Fanatics experience. And to celebrate, new customers can bet $50 or more and claim an official jersey with Fanatics. PointsBet, now a Fanatics experience.